Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be answering a question that I seem to be getting a lot lately on Twitter and the comments section of my videos that I've seen posted on various forums and threads, and that is, what happened to the I'm Not a Hipster Part 2 update for Grand Theft Auto Online? So to give you guys the long story short, essentially a good bit before the Doomsday Heist update started coming out, but after Smuggler's Run was kind of coming to an end, a lot of people were wondering what was going to be happening next. Well, a couple reputable leakers in the community started dropping major hints for a Part 2 update of the 2014 DLC, I Am Not a Hipster, changing Twitter banners, going on to threads and comments and literally writing things like Hipsters Part 2 will be coming. It looks like it's going to be the next update. And so a lot of people assumed that that was going to be the thing. And then, of course, we get to the beginning of December. Rockstar announces the Doomsday Heist update, and a lot of people are happy and excited about that, but it's definitely not Hipsters Part 2. So the question remains, what happened to that update? Did Rockstar completely dump it? Is it going to be coming soon? Or have we already seen that DLC in the game? I'll explain that as we go. So let's talk about that first theory. Did Rockstar just completely scrap the idea of I Am Not a Hipsters Part 2? There's certainly a possibility. Maybe Rockstar thought that it would have just been the same 2014 update with just another business attached to it. Now, I feel like Rockstar could have made that work really well, especially if that business was something like a nightclub or something, unique or different. Not like related to smuggling illegal goods or something like that, which is basically what every business update has been about, just with a little different variety. It's been getting this illegal good from point A to point B and finding a buyer and selling it. So there really hasn't been that much differentiation, but maybe Rockstar thought it wouldn't do well because people would associate it with the first update all the way back in 2014 and think, hey, that's not for me, so I'm ultimately not going to try it out. So that's my first theory. The second theory is that it could still be coming in the future. It's pretty clear that Rockstar is going to continue making updates for Grand Theft Auto Online, that they don't plan on stopping anytime soon, and it's pretty likely that we'll be getting a DLC sometime in March. That just makes sense from Rockstar's patterns of what they've done in the past, how the drip feeding from this DLC ending seems to end up lining up. So I feel like we're going to get a couple more updates in online. There's always a chance that they do something like that going forward. I don't know what Rockstar's plans are. You don't know what Rockstar's plans are. So there's a good chance that that could officially happen. But let's talk about the most interesting theory, and that is we've already seen Hipsters Part 2 in the game. Now, in order to figure this out, we need to go back to Smuggler's Run. This is when the hints started to seep in. And what I'm talking about in particular is the vehicles. Now, I've actually jumped back in here after recording this video to even offer more hints and clues to sort of more hipster style vehicles, because it goes back farther than just Smuggler's Run. If we go to gun running, there was a couple sort of hipster style vehicles released that had nothing to do with the theme of gun running, including the Grotti Cheetah Classic, a classic variant of the Cheetah, the Pegassi Torero, which was a new sports car based off of the Lamborghini Countach, and then the Ocelot Ardent, which was a weaponized vehicle based off of the Lotus Esprit. And then if we even go back to Cunning Stunts Special Vehicle Circuit, there were two vehicles that were released in there that were pretty hipster-esque. The Grotti Turismo Classic, which is based off of the Ferrari F40, and the Pegassi Infernus Classic, based off of the Lamborghini Diablo, and a classic return of the 3D rendition of the Infernus. And even the regular vehicle that was released, the Progen GP1, is sort of a hipster-style supercar. So Rockstar has almost sort of been working on this basically in the entirety of 2017. So in Smuggler's Run, there were two types of hipster-style cars that were released. The first was the Retinue, which was released on day one, and then a drip feed vehicle, which ended up being the Rapid GT Classic. Those very much had a sort of hipster's vehicle feel to it. So a lot of people were assuming that this was Rockstar testing the water for more hipsters vehicles that they were going to be adding into the game. And then the Doomsday Heist sort of proved that theory correct, as we got a lot of drip feed vehicles that were almost all in the sort of hipsters vibe and had nothing to do with the Doomsday Heist. So think about most of the vehicles released with the Doomsday Heist. The majority of them were weaponized or had something to do with the heist mission itself. However, most of the civilian vehicles released and the ones we got later on were almost all sort of a hipster vibe. Even the supercars, none of them were futuristic or really high tech. I think the supercar, the Ubermacht SC1, even though it's not all that great, it kind of has like a hipster's supercar vibe to it. That's just one example right there. I mean, let's take a look at some of the other vehicles. The Vapid Hustler, the Albany Hermes, the Grotti GT500, the Canis Camacho, the Hipster Neon, an electric vehicle, the Ubermacht Revolter, the Anis Silvestre, the Sentinel Classic, the Benefactor Strider, the Lampadati Viscerus, the Karen 190Z. For the most part, all of those vehicles are either sports classics, muscles. There's only one supercar on that list. There's an off-road vehicle listed there. The Autarch obviously was the only supercar, and that really doesn't really have a fit. But those vehicles right there are pretty much the exact same style of vehicles that were released in the original I'm Not a Hipsters update. You had a big off-road vehicle. You had lots of muscle cars, lots of sports classics, a sports car thrown in there. A lot of the vehicles have that hipster vibe to them by having very unique customization. A couple of them are completely electric cars, which is kind of cool, the Coil Raiden, and then obviously the Hipster Neon, which is sort of a hipster vibe right there. So that's what I think happened. I think that the rumor that we were getting of I'm Not a Hipster Part 2 was actually true. I do believe that someone had a source inside Rockstar that ended up finding out a lot of the vehicles we got. And what they deciphered from finding out all of that information, all the names of the cars potentially, is that, oh, that's gotta be a Hipsters Part 2 update, when in reality it looks as if Rockstar just used these extra vehicles for basically creating the Doomsday Heist and the Smuggler's Run drip feeding options. Now, this also kind of lines up with what that mysterious Rockstar employee has been stating on 4chan. For those of you guys that also don't know that story, this is a sort of Rockstar insider that I guess went rogue. That seems to be the best way to describe the situation. He essentially leaked all of the Bikers update and all of the import-export DLC before it came out, and literally everything he said came true. So we know that he either has a source or works at Rockstar, is reputable in some way, shape, or form. He stated a couple weeks ago, or maybe even a month ago, that all the drip feed vehicles we're getting, Rockstar just sort of make those as they go, and they sort of throw them into one lump sum and then just throw them into the update as needed. So for example, the Karen 190Z, the Albany Hermes, there's a good chance that Rockstar like finalized and made that vehicle like maybe a year ago or months ago, and it kind of gets thrown into this big vehicle pile until it's needed. Now, obviously, something like the Vigilante is made as is when needed for holiday updates, for something like Halloween or something like that. But for the most part, it looks like all the vehicles are just made without apparent theme or rhyme or reason. And that's where the Hipsters Part 2 leak might have come about. Getting all these hipster-style vehicles, how they were being thrown together. One might have assumed that was sort of the theme. But it just seems Rockstar has made this quote-unquote update into a bunch of drip feed vehicles. And there's a good chance that we're not done with it. In the next update, even if it's not a Hipsters 2 style DLC, we could be getting more vehicles like that. Off-road, muscle, sports classics that sort of fall into that hipsters category. That really wouldn't shock me at all. But anyways, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think happened to the I Am Not a Hipster Part 2 update. Although it was never officially confirmed by Rockstar, to have a lot of people vouching for it, including credible leakers, is very interesting, and to not see it at least come to fruition yet is definitely a pretty interesting topic as well. So let me know your thoughts, opinions more in the comment section down below. Love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.